Okay, I'm gonna make this one quick because I got a lot of stuff to do. You see, we have the whole lot higher low that we were talking about yesterday, saying, listen, if it flushed down, we'll continue down. If it broke above, and we see that it broke above, volume is even. So if you took this again, it would be aggressive trade, which is fine. You have the volume, you just want to see it increase and a move to the upside for tomorrow. Again, this might be a little bit of resistance, but again, who knows? But I would like to trade because again, it's minimal risk. You put your stop below here, break above this high, and you just continue. Again, you want the volume to start increasing, so you have the higher low in place. Okay, QQQ actually did the same thing. It pretty much gapped up and stayed and moved very well. Came, broke above, and continued up, which is a great sign for this name. And again, a lot of bears might get trapped here. We got the IWM. IWM is not as healthy, but again, if you can see a break above this high and just continue to the upside, maybe to test these levels. But this is giving, it's not as defined as the other patterns, but because it's not just going up, coming down, but you do see spacing, but it kind of just churns sideways. And now hopefully we can see some type of movement, and this volume is not even matching up, so it's still low. But again, if it can increase, break to today's highs, today's highs, and increase with volume, then you're in good shape. Diamond, this is a better pattern. I like this. Same thing, being that it gapped up and stayed up, and again coming back here, so it's a low risk trade, and you just want to see if volume can increase to the upside. But again, volume was kind of light today. 15 minute, you can see came down, give you a nice entry here, and you just, I mean, again, it was after this time, which was what, 11:15, you could see what happened. It just was sideways. Let's see if it was like that for most of them. So yeah, I was in this market. So again, it was just really hard after a certain time, and I just sat on my hands because again, if I don't see a proper setup, I'm not going to trade this. And this, again, like I told you on Monday, when you start getting stuff like this and the setups aren't good, you can start talking to yourself and saying, shoot, maybe this looks good, or maybe it's gonna fall, or maybe it's gonna break. If the setup isn't good, then just let it be, and you just wait and say, if you're down a little, that's fine, but nothing's worse than trying to force a trade and being down a little, and then you start revenge trading because you're just like, that was a stupid trade, let me get the money back, and then Mr. Market takes the majority of your money because you just couldn't sit on your hands and be patient for your setup. Okay, when the setup comes, again, you have your down days, but you want to be small and you want your up days to be good, and that's how things are going to survive. Because if you're 50% win rate and you're doing proper risk reward management, meaning you're not just 1-to-1, you're trying to get if your win rate's 50%, you want to get like 2.5 to 3-to-1 each trade to make it that your profit management is so key, and so many people do not talk about it, but that's the key, I think, for a lot of people. Apple is continuing to go high. I actually have a couple friends that took and scalped because they just didn't like the way that the market was, and again, they peeled off like $1, $2, but again, the entry was from here, and it was from, basically got to 95. I think it opened around 95. Yeah, 95. I had a friend that got in around 95.12 he got in, and he peeled it off. But again, my target is still way up here, and I wouldn't get in now because again, when I wanted to get in, it was 3-to-1 risk. Now it gets to 1-to-1 risk, and you could get dinged out, and then all of a sudden, Max, you told me to take the trade, or you suggested something and I took it and it got dinged out. No, I suggested it back here. Okay, same thing with Netflix. I tweeted out today that if you took the trade from here, you should be rolling up your stop to 435. Okay, if you haven't peeled off some already. I had another friend of mine that took the trade, and the options tripled, and most of his clients actually took it off. But again, my target is, you guys could see it, I posted on Twitter of my time forecast as well, because I do time and price as well. So Google, I thought it looked weak, but it ended up not being as weak as I thought. So again, if you took this short, the aggressive short, and it didn't really follow through with volume, I thought it was going to continue to downside, and guess what? I was wrong. So it basically gapped up. You can see it closed here, gapped up, and followed through in a major way. You look at the 15-minute chart, it pretty much just continued up from. It just kept going up and kept going up. So you don't chase, and you see how things go. Microsoft is actually looking really well. It was looking. This isn't the right chart. I thought it was. I say that looks bad. Microsoft is still looking good from here. Again, the entry is this bar right here. Break above it, and you would be up about 2% on Microsoft. Is pretty good. But again, you know, those of you going to wait all the way till it gets to 46, that's not, you know, what I think is a sexy trade. Biogen gave a nice break above as well. And you got some pharmaceutical name, Jazz, is giving, I mean, I don't think I would have been able to even take this trade because this quite honestly is not kind of the pattern that I like. So again, I would wait for it to give me a higher low above all this, because you can see I would just kept, you know, grinding down, and now it's just giving you these bipolar type of movements. High volume spike up, down, high volume spike up. Just let it be. Don't force anything. So again, you know, I want to see how this stuff works out, see what the futures did. But again, we talked about it yesterday regarding if we're going to have a higher low, or we're going to have a higher low here or a lower high, depending on where it went, and it went up. So again, try not to guess any directions, and the price action is, you know, it's price action volume for me, my friend. Price action, looking to see what the trend is, and looking at volume. Okay, and some people look at volume here, some people look at volume on the option chain. Okay, but again, keep your stuff simple, and there's beauty in simplicity. Take care.